Alright, let's take a look at counting significant figures. This assumes that the person who wrote the number in the first place knew something about significant figures as well. If you have a number in which there are no zeros, now I'm not talking about this times 10 to the over here, just the part that would be to the left of that. If you have numbers with no zeros, then it's very easy. We just count the digits. This has 1, 2, 3, 3 significant figures. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 significant figures. And the next one, again, we forget about the times 10 to the, and we only focus our attention on this portion. It has no zeros, we just count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has 5 significant figures. Now, if you're looking at numbers that have zeros and they have a decimal point, then what we do is be sure that we're starting at the first digit that is not a zero. Start counting from the left. We don't start counting digits until we get to a number that is not zero. Here's the first digit that is not a zero. We have 1, 2, 3 significant figures. The first digit we get to that is not a zero is the 8, and we just keep counting all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 significant figures. Again, if you have zeros and you have a decimal point, we start from the left until we find the first digit that is not a zero, and then we simply count all the way to the end. Again, we ignore the times 10 to the over here. All of the significance is in this portion. Start at the left, first digit that's not a zero, keep counting all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3. This has 3 significant figures. Now, if there is no decimal point and the number ends in 1 or more zeros, then you cannot tell the way it is written. This number is ambiguous, this number is ambiguous, this number is ambiguous in terms of the number of significant figures. This could be off by 1, this could be off by 10, this could be off by 10, 1,000, or 10,000. There's no way to tell just by looking at it. If the number ends in 1 or more zeros and there is no decimal point, then it is ambiguous how many significant figures you have, and that number should originally have been written in some other way, for example with scientific notation. If there is no decimal point but the number does not end in a zero, then we can just count to the end. We have zeros, there is no decimal point, but the number does not end in a zero, then we can just count them, including the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has 4 significant figures. Over here, we have a lot of zeros, but it does not end in a zero. We just count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 significant figures. The next number, we have zeros, but it does not end in a zero. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has 5 significant figures. And that's all there is to it.